going on, everyone? PokeRussPlays over here. It's me, Richard Zapp from Kitchen Table Meta, here helping PokeRuss make a combination of videos, some top tier decks that we think are going to be relevant in the meta coming up for Gencon and the events that lead up to it. Today I want to talk about an old deck from set 3 that I thought had a very powerful impact on the meta, and I think it's still really solid, really consistent tier. I don't know about tier 1, but at least tier 1.5 deck here. We have SS3 Buu-han, focusing on Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu to be able to quickly lock down games with a boss monster that's very hard to move off the field. So with that, we'll get into the deck list here. So we start off turn 1, you're opening with 4 copies of Hercule and 3 copies of Saiyan Kaba. Hoping for these 1-drops. Saiyan Kaba is going to be an important way to help you awaken as well as close out games. I find that most of these grindier games end up with you being able to use Saiyan Kaba to sneak in a quick double strike when the opponent isn't expecting it. Really strong. Hercule is a fantastic card for allowing you to quickly get to your copies of Surprise Attack Majin Buu, which is one of the linchpins in this deck, allowing you to play Grand Evil Absorption much faster than you could previously. Of course, you have 4 copies of your super combo. We're going to use Boost Attack Piccolo here. Pretty straightforward, nothing to note there. On the 3s, again, Surprise Attack Majin Buu, one of the most important cards in the deck, allows you to search your deck for any Majin Buu with 25k or less power. That gives you a few targets here. In this particular deck, that gives you the choice of getting Majin Buu Dawn of the Rampage, Majin Buu Full of Energy, or Awakening Evil Majin Buu. Depending on the situation, we'll talk about those cards more in depth in a little bit here. Primarily, the ideal goal is on turn 3 to play Surprise Attack Majin Buu. Then on the following turn, being able to evolve Surprise Attack Majin Buu onto Awakening Evil Majin Buu. The dream play is to be able to evo this for 2, have 2 mana untapped, and then to be able to utilize this Union effect. There's a particular ruling in this game where you resolve as much of the effect as you can, and the specific wording on this card is choose up to 1 Majin Buu. That means you can choose 0, as 0 is a number less than 1. So what I'll often do in this deck is I will start by playing, I will activate the Union Absorb effect, and I will put Majin Buu Dawn of the Rampage underneath Awakening Evil. But I will intentionally choose to not play another Majin Buu on top of that. Then I will activate Union Absorb again, putting a Gohan Adolescence in your discard pile, or underneath the Awakening Evil. And that allows you to turn on Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu. And not only do you get the effect of the Gohan that you picked, but you also get the effect of Majin Buu Dawn of the Rampage, which reads, when this card is under a card, the Majin Buu on top of it gains barrier. So very, very strong way to get a boss monster that has a lot of effects and is very difficult to remove off the field. In order to play those Majin Buus, you need to put a Gohan Adolescence underneath. You run 4 copies of Ability Unleashed and 2 copies of Burst Attack Son Gohan. Both of those are solid cards, Burst Attack being new out of the Tournament 4-pack series. And while that is a viable card... Oh, 1 second, we're shaking here. Both of these cards are useful for different things. Burst Attack being useful for giving your Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu critical, but allowing you to possibly draw more cards if your hand is 4 cards or less. Though on average, you're probably going to have more than 4 cards for the majority of the game, which usually means Ability Unleashed Ultimate Gohan is the better choice. That being said, you run 6 copies of each. Previously we used to run Comeback Gohan, but I think being able to play 0-5 is very important, so we'll stick with 2 copies of Burst Attack. In order to use SS3, our leader, defensively, we also include 4 copies of Pride and Justice Topo, and 4 copies of Unbreakable Super Saiyan Goku, as well as 4 copies of Senzu Bean. One of the stronger plays that this deck has access to is you untap your 3 mana, you have 2 red and a blue, the first mana is a Topo, the second mana is your Senzu Bean, untap 2 red, and that gives you the ability to play a second Pride and Justice Topo, or start utilizing your Unbreakable Super Saiyan Gokus. Senzu Bean in general is a very, very important card in this format. All of these fast decks, these blue-yellow decks, these blue-red rush decks, they tend to attack with a lot of 10Ks and 15Ks, and being able to permanently pump your leader for the turn with Senzu Bean, very important. We run 2 copies of Foreseeing Hit. Foreseeing Hit being a card that allows you to look at your opponent's hand, pinch out potential threats, anything that might wipe the board of your Majin Buu after you're able to play it, or get rid of their super combos whenever they're going for lethal damage. Very, very diverse card. Being a 0/5 is something that you don't see on a lot of double strike attackers. Very solid card. As I said, 3 copies of Majin Buu, Dawn of the Rampage. This allows you to, for 4 mana, you could put him on the board on turn 4, turn 5. One play that I've done is I'll be at 5 mana. I'll play him for 4. I'll swing with my leader, and then I will activate Senzu Bean on my leader, and that will give me a 2nd mana. So now I can pay the 2 for the Union Absorb. Union Absorb searches Awakening Evil Majin Buu, and then I can put the Gohan underneath, and that allows me to immediately stack up from Gohan to your 7-cost Majin Buu. We run 3 copies of Majin Buu, Dawn of the Rampage. I've played 2 in previous versions of the deck. However, it's really important to have a blue mana, and I'm okay charging one of these blue mana if it means that I can activate my Senzu Bean on turn 2, turn 3 like I need to. We run only 3 copies of Awakening Evil Majin Buu. Just because you search it so much, you're almost always playing Surprise Attack Majin Buu, and that's okay. And we play 2 copies of Majin Buu Full of Evil. Full of Evil being a decent way to awaken yourself in a slow, grindy matchup. It also has some great combos with Senzu Bean, with the Ultimate Evil Majin Buu. At the top of the curve, we play 2 copies of Ultimate Evil Majin Buu, and we run 4 copies of Grand Evil Absorption. And these 2 cards in tandem allow you to really close out games. Often Grand Evil Absorption has Barrier. He either has Double Strike or Critical. He has draws. Very reliable card. Really cool closer. We don't have a lot of boss monsters in this game, but he's one of the most consistent. One of the other really cool combos that I like with this deck is, so you have your Grand Evil on board, you have Ability Unleashed Gohan underneath. When you swing the first time, you utilize this effect to give him Double Strike, and the text on Ability Unleashed Gohan is you get Double Strike for the duration of the turn, which means when you attack the second time, he already has Double Strike, so you can now use the ability not gain Double Strike and draw a card instead. So he'll have Double Strike for both swings. Ultimate Evil Majin Buu is a great way to close out games. Just by having 1 blue mana, you can discard 2 of your 1/10s in your hand, 2 of your larger combo pieces that are kind of dead, and this will often be a 60k swing. If you do have your Full of Evil Majin Buu, you can pick up your life. Let's say you have 4 life, right? So here's your Majin Buu full of energy. You have 4 life. You pick up 3 life. Now he's 25, 30, 35, 40. Swing with a 40k. And now whenever you play Ultimate Evil Majin Buu, he's going to untap with his effect. He gains 30k because of his effect, so now he's 60. But he's also going to carry the 5,000 pumps that you got when you took your life. So this was at 25, 30, 35, 40. So now we're 30, 60, plus 15. He's already at 75 before comboing. Plus you have 3 more cards in your hand to combo. Russell knows this particular combo. We played in the semifinals of a tournament just now, and that was the difference between losing the game and going in with a 100k attacker for game. It was pretty cool. But yeah, this is the deck. Thank you for taking the time to check out PokeRuss's channel. Thank you to the card shops that support us. Bottom Dollar Trading Card in Warren, Ohio. Thanks to ICG in Sharon, Pennsylvania. Thanks to Kitchen Table Meta, my sponsor that supports me in being able to go to events. And thank you for watching our content. Take care.